Hi everybody, welcome to another lovely edition of the Sunday Sofa, where you can interact with us all, join in with the conversations that we're going to be having today. We've got a lovely crowd here and a lovely special guest which we'll introduce in a moment. I don't know why my words aren't coming out very well today, but obviously it's been this full moon that we've had over the last few days that's been affecting me, I think. So yeah, really, really warm welcome to everybody. Beautiful day outside. So I hope you're all sitting in the garden or inside enjoying your day. So I'm Polly Harnett, and if you haven't seen me before, I work as a spiritual medium, trance healer, animal healer, communicator, and all sorts of lovely things. And really, really looking forward to our show today.
Okay. I was wondering there, Polly, if you were going to introduce yourself. I thought,
well, do you know what? The moon, I'm obviously howling today. I don't know where my little brain has gone.
Okay. Well, as anyone that's tuned in before, I'm Jane Morton. I'm a psychic counsellor, psychic, a little bit of mediumship, holistic therapist. So yeah, a little bit of everything, not as much as Polly, so I won't reel off my list. And thank you for joining us again on the Sunday Sofa. And today, people, we have another special guest. And today's guest is Neshla Avey. So I'm going to pass over to Neshla and she can introduce. Oh, yes, sorry. Before we introduce the lovely Neshla. Sorry, Neshla, wait your turn.
That's okay.
Yeah, so we apologise. The lovely Leah, unfortunately, is a little bit poorly today, so she won't be able to join us. So if you could all send out your lovely thoughts, love and healing to Leah and wish her a speedy recovery, that'd be great. And she'll be back with us in a fortnight. But yes, now to our special guest, Neshla Avey. And I'm going to pass over to Neshla and she can introduce herself and what we're going to be talking about today.
Okay, hi everyone, my name's Neshla. I'm a psychic reader, healer. I do Rahani healing as well as divine empowerment energy healing. I also teach. So I teach tarot. I've also designed my own set of tarot cards, the Learner Tarot that I've got here, to help people to open up their intuition and start on their journey. The other thing I do teach that Jane was talking about is ascension. So I run ascension classes for those to help them find who they are, what they're here for, and how we can grow and make ourselves a better person.
Thank you, Neshla.
Yeah, exciting stuff.
It is. Me and Polly are really excited, but that's because we're biased.
We love Neshla.
Neshla.
Yeah, so today we are going to first of all say some hellos, see who's on today. So we have Stace Shaw. Hi, Richard and ladies. Goo afternoon. We're having a goo afternoon.
Hi, Stacey.
Hi, Alison.
Hi, Alison. Oh, Alison. Don't think you've got away with it yet. Hi, Kim.
Hi, Kim. Now we're intrigued what she's not going to get away with.
Ah, bless her. No, I was trying to pick her up the other day and she got like, everyone was picking on her. And I went, they're not picking on you, they're trying to encourage you. Because I didn't do my show Tuesday, I didn't get a chance to pull her out and give her a reading.
Oh, excellent. So, hi, Tracy.
Hi, Tracy.
I love the name. Tracy Dolphin. Love dolphins. Hi, Julie.
Hi, Julie. Oh,
Tracy.
Hi, Tracy.
Hello.
That's nice. Hello.
Hi, Loretta.
Hi.
Good sausage fingers, says Stace. I thought we were going to have a gooey afternoon.
Yeah, I was going to say something else. Oh, look, number one, Neshla. We caught up. Is everyone out in the sunshine?
Yeah, I think everyone must be in the sunshine today. That's what I was thinking. Before we came on today, I was in the garden because we have paving in our garden, and I'm out with the moss remover thing, you know,
Oh.
being all active and pretending that I knew what I was doing. So yeah, it's absolutely beautiful outside. Alison, they're always picking on me. Even Stace is after my cake.
We weren't picking on you, Alison. We were encouraging you. There's a difference.
Yeah, there's a difference. Encouraging is brilliant. So today we're going to be talking about ascension. Okay, so ascension and awakenings. What do we think?
Well, it's the same, isn't it? Awakening is part of your ascension journey, isn't it?
A lot of people, I think, get confused about like that. It sounds like it's a really different thing, and it actually isn't, is it? I mean, I always say that like your awakening is part of your ascension, and you carry on having awakenings that are almost like little stepping stones, if you like, to your one day true ascension, I guess. What do you think, Neshla?
Yeah, exactly the same. I always say, think of it like going up a ladder. You take one rung at a time, and the higher you go, the more you can see, if you like. It's all about learning who we are and why we're here, and an enlightenment, really, because that's what we're aiming for, whether we realise it or not. Even those that are not so spiritual and not aware of it, they're still ascending. It's just slower. When we're more conscious of it and aware of it, we can do things to help us to get there. I always say to them, think about as a light bulb. You've got a light bulb, and if it's covered in dust, it's not shining very bright. So you polish your light bulb, if you like, and you can shine brighter and you can see more. Everything's clearer, and that's part of all of our journeys, really.
I don't think people realise sometimes that, like you said, some people are going to move much quicker than others, aren't they? And it really does depend on where you are in life and where you are in the world and what you're still hanging on to. I was doing a bit of reading. It's rare for me. I was doing a bit of reading, and it was really interesting, actually, because there's lots of different articles, isn't there, on ascension and awakenings and things like that. But actually, they all sort of come down to the same thing. And some people don't. Oh, some people just haven't got a clue why they're here, have they? You know, they're sort of living in this sort of repetitive bubble of karmic lessons, if you like, and you know, they don't feel ready for whatever reason that is to jump off that train. And it really is. I mean, I think we've all gone through really horrible times in our lives. I think there can't be many people that haven't had some shocking times in their lives. And it might be that you're in a relationship, or you have a friend relationships that are either very controlling, even parental relationships. It might have started off very young, where you're going into this spiral, and you always seem to need somebody, or controlled by somebody, or need somebody to make your decisions for you, for example. And then when you realise and you get stronger, it's this massive awakening, isn't it? When you realise that actually you don't need that person to tell you what to do. You don't need that person to rule your life. You don't need that person to make all these choices and decisions for you, so you're just sort of scattering along in the background. You don't need anything. What you need is to love yourself or respect yourself, and actually realize that is an ascension in itself, isn't it? When you jump off that karmic train, that first sort of step, if you like, to realizing that the person that is going to improve your life is yourself. I think that's a huge one.
Well,
Definitely.
That's totally right, because at the end of the day, we come here to learn lessons in life, if you like, and when we're repeating the same pattern over and over again, we're never learning or growing or changing. It's when we realize that, you know, a lot of people wait for something. So they say, oh, I can't do something until I'm a size 10, or I can't do something until I've got some money, or I can't do something because I haven't got anywhere else to go. And there's always a reason. But if we just get on with it and trust and do what's right for us, it always falls into place. But it's that total trust in ourselves, because we are creators of our own future, but we just have to believe it. And like you say, even if you're in a bad relationship, and you could be in an emotionally abusive relationship, for example, and you're too scared to change because you feel safe and you feel you need someone around you, if that person leaves, usually that's where you've got the chance to grow. But if you don't, then you're just going to go in the same pattern and go in a similar relationship just with someone else, until you actually learn that it's you that needs to change, and that happiness is not external but internal. And that's the important thing, and that's what people need to recognize. And the more we learn these lessons, the quicker we grow, really.
Yeah, it's true. So Jane, what do you think? When do you think that you had your first real ascension, part of your ascension or awakening, if you like?
What, my very first, or my sort of shunt, as I call it, into doing what I do now?
The first thing that comes to mind. So I always find it fascinating.
Okay.
Stories.
I'm just going to quickly say hello to Christine because I can see her on the screen. So
Hello,
I know,
Christine.
I'd say, I mean, obviously, my first adult experience probably is probably meeting Neshla. Because I met Neshla under quite personal, strange circumstances for me. And I did, when I looked her up, I say looked her up. I'm not a stalker, but I did something quite out of my comfort zone. Even when I went to meet her, I drove out of my comfort zone. I'd become quite reclusive in where I went A to B. So it was a massive step for me that I did two things out of my comfort zone before I even got to meet her face to face. And although I'd gone for a reading, I left there feeling like someone had cleansed me, and I'd let out. I mean, I cried a lot, and I openly admit that, but I felt like someone had literally cleansed me and I felt like it was a counselling session. And when I got back in the car, I just felt so much different. I mean, nothing had changed. What was going on in my life was still there, but I drove home feeling a little bit saner is probably the word I'd use at the time. And then I obviously met Neshla again and started, and sort of, because I call her my mentor, and I always say that quite openly on my own show, that, she is my mentor, because she nudged me very gently, but very kindly, and into this direction, because she obviously see what I was blatantly trying not to see. So for me, it was that. And I wasn't her easiest of students, was I, Neshla?
No, you were very sceptical.
And
questioning.
I'm always questioning, which is why I found her ascension classes so interesting, because they are mind-blowing. Some of the stuff that you learn, and you do come away going, wow, God, and you look at things differently. But I felt the whole upliftment of that ascension when we did ascension. I think I did 1, 2, and 3, didn't I? The difference in me was unbelievable. Each time I learned something new and felt I was having that connection, I was getting stronger and stronger in what I was trusting in myself. So, I'd say it was Neshla. She ascended me without me realising.
Well, that's very nice to hear.
Yeah. No, it's lovely to hear, because I think, it's important, isn't it, to find the right mentor, because there's a lot of people that I would say aren't great mentors, unfortunately. I mean, it's like in anything, though. You have teachers at school, and some are amazing, aren't they? Because they're sort of animated, they make it fun, they make it interesting.
Yeah.
It's in like any walk of life, really, but especially on a spiritual sort of mentor, if you like, it's really important that mentor can teach you as an individual. You might have a class of 10, but those class of 10 are all going to be very, very different. And, it's picking up on what that individual needs and what that individual needs. And, I always think that if you're in a group like that, when one person is the one asking all the questions, for example, they're probably ones that everyone else are wanting to know in the first place, but daren't ask, or, and I always love a challenging student. I always love a challenging student.
You wouldn't have wanted me, Polly. I'm just reading Stacey's thing. She's put, during my ascension, especially during the self-healing, I'm amazed how we let so many people manipulate our decisions and choices for us. But it's not how you start ascending. We realise this, and she is true, because it sort of goes back to what you've just said, Polly. There are people out there that you may not aspire to as mentors, or you would be skeptical about. When Neshla says I was skeptical in accepting my spiritual journey. I didn't trust what I could do. I didn't trust my abilities, and I needed Neshla, I suppose, to sort of form me out and accept that those abilities were there, because they'd been hidden from childhood when they'd been suppressed. So you do need that trust, because if Neshla had been somebody else, that they could have actually sent me on a different path, and I could have still been questioning lots of more. But I mean, the good thing with me is I think you still know your own mind, and that's the beauty of being spiritual. Yes, you will go and meet different people, and you may feel manipulated, for me, I know who I'm comfortable around and what I'm believing in, and I will still question. There's some things I have to watch in general, even stuff that's on our shows that I will still question because that's my mindset. I like to question things because I like to know science as well. So I think spiritually, if you trust yourself and you sense gradually, you won't be manipulated. I think that's the beauty of ascension. You understand and you trust your own guts, your own beliefs, and you carry on doing that ascension. You're continually ascending and passing others. And yeah, you do lose friendships and things change because you are working at a higher level. So I think, what do you think of Stacey's comment?
So yeah,
sorry, you go now.
I was going to say, who are you asking?
Sorry, yes. I'll go to Neshla. You are the guest.
Okay, thank you, Jane. It's true, but you've actually got to get to that stage because it's when you look back, you realise that things are happening. When you're in something, it's much harder to realise you're being manipulated or you're being controlled. Other people might be able to see it, but you can't. It's only when you step away, that's when you look back and see it. And that's when you learn to grow because as I said, if you haven't learned, then you're just going to another relationship with the same thing. But it gives you that choice. So normally something will happen in the relationship to make you, step away from it. So you can see, because that's part of your ascension journey, if we don't experience things, then we don't know what's wrong, if you see what I mean. So, it's like being spiritual. If we tend to come, if we, for example, if we were all stuck in beautiful mansions and we had servants running around doing everything for us, we haven't got to do anything. We don't grow. Whereas by learning hard lessons in life, as Polly says, we've all been through tough times because that's part of life. But it's how you deal with it, how you cope with it, that helps. But a lot of people will either blame somebody else for things going wrong or bury their head in the sand and not deal with it. But when you can deal with it and you make that conscious decision that this is something I have to face and I have to deal with myself, then that's the same thing. It's a bit like when you're seeing somebody else going down a bad path. You can't do it for them. They have to see it themselves, and that's the important thing. And that's when we grow. And then, of course, there's always further tests down the line and other things that happen to us. But every step is that journey up that ladder.
Yeah, I like to look back because it's like when we do have these ascensions, which I seem to have had many. I want to call them aha moments or serious epiphanies, when it's like, oh, Jesus Christ, did I not see that before? Sorry, I didn't mean to take the Lord's name in vain. But yeah, it's like sometimes you, like Neshla said, you can't see it when you're in a situation. It's not until you're not in the situation or something just happens or clicks, if you like, where you think, do you know what? I can't actually believe that I have been in that situation, or I can't believe that I let myself get in that situation, and we have to take responsibility for it as well. We like to, like you said, Neshla, we like to blame other people, don't we? But we've actually let ourselves stay there. We have God knows how long relationship, which was shocking, because we did, and it might have been worth it in the end, or it might not have been, but we learn, and when we learn to respect ourselves and see that growth and look back on our experiences and think, okay, yeah, that was a really horrible time, but what did I learn from that? I learned that I never wanted to be in that situation again. And I can honestly say that I had a couple of probably more than a couple of bad situations in my life, but now I look back on them and I think that I've learned so much from them that I don't see them as an issue anymore. I almost thank them, because if I hadn't had them, then I wouldn't be where I am today. And I'm almost glad that I've been really poor at times, and I'm glad that, because everything I've worked for is mine and it's what I've worked for. So it's a funny old situation, but it does change everything, doesn't it? Like Jane said, it changes friendships, it changes, because there's people that stay in the same place. They just don't move, or they're going very, very slowly. And they were like your best mate 10 years ago, but they're still there and doing the same thing, not learning. And you're when you ascend, or when you have these epiphanies, if you like, you don't feel the same anymore. It's not the same thing. You're not in the same space as you were then. But it doesn't mean that they've done anything hideously wrong. It doesn't mean that they're horrible people. It just means that you've grown out of each other's energy. And a lot of the people that I'm around now are people that I've only met, God, in the last 5 years, or maybe a bit longer, but not the people that I grew up with, even though I still love them. I've got a different sort of outlook, and I really like to be around positive people, really positive people now. I can't deal with negativity very well.
The half full cup people, not the half empty ones. Yeah. I like the full cup people, actually.
Yeah, I like the full cup.
Give me a full cup or full pint.
Yeah.
But it is fun. It is funny. I mean, it's a bit like an escalator, isn't it? It's a bit like being in Oxford. Is it the Oxford Piccadilly Circus? The big escalator. You're going up 50 miles an hour, and they're still going boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And you do suddenly think they're not really getting me no more. They're not getting the reasons behind stuff and things like that. So it's. But I did find the Ascension classes fascinating. I really did. I found it was just another insight into what goes on when we are, ascending. And obviously we all work as healers as well. So again, that's an ascension in itself, and you're sort of constantly changing and evolving with that. So, but I am.
So
that
Neshla,
was my first. What was yours?
I was going to say, what is we've got some hellos. We've got Loretta.
Yeah.
Hindsight is 2020.
I think Sally Worker was on just now as well, so she's running late. She said her kitchen grabbed her. I'm not sure what she meant unless she's eating.
Really great.
Hi, Pamela.
Oh, hi, Pamela.
Oh, bless her. She not. Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
Angel Moon. Hi, guys. I think we only start to ascend when you totally trust yourself. That's when we start to hear our own inner guidance system and use our own intuition, and then we can only truly grow.
That's true. It takes a long time to trust, though, doesn't it? You've got to trust your intuition and trust your own feelings around it. And the other thing, you quite often get other people. When you do, for example, when I left my day job, I was a publishing manager years ago. When I left my day job, so many people said, "What are you doing?" Because I did it to do my spiritual work a few years ago, quite a few years ago now. But everyone thought I was bonkers, giving up a big salary and a great job and lots of respect for this, basically. And I had to totally trust myself that it was right, because people can talk you out of it. So you have to really listen to your own instincts and your own gut feeling and go with it and not let anyone sway you, because only you can decide and make decisions on your own life in the direction you want to take it in. And as I say, friends, people fall out the way. A lot of my work colleagues, it's like, what is she, got mental? They thought I'd gone off the mad or something. So, and I sort of lost contact with some of them. And you just think, well, at the end of the day, I always say it's like our vibrations change. And as Jane was saying, your friends fall away from you. And like Holly was saying as well, that you want to be with people that are like you. Because what you're doing is your aura and your vibration is we're talking to each other through our aura and our vibration all the time. So basically what happens is it just doesn't feel comfortable anymore. It's a bit like oil and water. If you put oil in water and you stir it as many times as you like, it will never mix, because that doesn't work. It's too heavy for you. It doesn't work anymore. So you need somebody else that's water and water, or oil and oil, because you match each other, you see. And that's why a lot of people, as they change, and that's why relationship changes, friendships change, even your home, it just doesn't feel right anymore, or whatever it is, your job or something, it doesn't feel right.
Yeah, you start putting Buddhas everywhere.
Yeah.
That just reminds me of something. I'm just going to quickly say hello to Leslie because she said she's new to the group. So welcome, Leslie.
Hi, Leslie.
Hello.
I had a couple of. I've been spying and selling on Facebook, so I've had a couple of people come into the place and picking up bits, all socially distanced in case anyone's going to moan. But it's funny because the last 2 people that bought off me in the last couple of days came to the place and then went, I don't mean to be rude, but do you do spiritual work? And I went, yeah. And they went, and the last one actually went, I'm a medium, so do I. And I went, oh, what gave it away? And she went, your Buddha's on your porch. But let's be fair, you can go to the range or B&Q and anywhere, and there's loads of Buddhas everywhere, and loads of people buy spiritual stuff without realising it's spiritual meaning. They just like it. But isn't it funny how like attracts like? Because I've been on holiday on a sunbed, minding my own business, reading a book, and a woman started chatting to me and started saying, "Oh, don't mind me being too upfront, but I just get a sense you're spiritual." She said, "I do Reiki," and I smiled and went, "Yeah, I am spiritual. I do Rouhani." I said, "And I'm also a psychic." And we spent the rest of the week, if we bumped into each other, swapping spiritual stuff. My friend who's not spiritual on holiday with me was getting a bit fed out of it, to be honest. And she said, how does she know that? I went, because without realising it, we have an aura. We attract people, and you can be anywhere in the world and people will know instantly that you are on the same wavelength as them. So it is mad. It is mad.
It is. I was going to say, there's a question from Pamela here about ascension. Moving on is when the next level, when you move to the spirit world. It's not, it is and it isn't, because at the end of the day, ascension is our journey here. We're on earth to learn. We're here to learn how to reach enlightenment, if you like. And even when you go to the spirit world, you're still learning. There's still more lessons to learn. But that's what you're doing, because when we've finished in this lifetime, if you like, then you do move on to spirit. But that you're still learning there. So it is getting there. But obviously, if people, the last thing you want to do is ascend too quickly because you don't want to leave this world or whatever. But, it's a step at a time. So ascension is while we're here and we're learning and we're growing and changing. And then we reach that point of enlightenment when we've learned a few lessons and we've come down here to learn. And then we go to spirit. But we will always come back down again to learn something else next time.
I think that's quite interesting what Pam's saying, because I mean, obviously, as you both know, I don't do a lot of my mediumship work, but I do know that a lot of people that do mediumship, and Pamela's actually been training in that, they have, some of them I've noticed have a different feel on ascension and believe that when you're here, you're only going to get to a certain level because of your quality, like when Polly was saying being poor earlier on. If you were in a sort of, I don't want to be derogatory, so I don't know how to put it, but if you were poor and in a what I call a mundane sort of job and not in a powerful, fast-moving career, people believe you only stay at a small level. But if you're in a powerful career, you're at a top level, because I've actually heard someone talk about that on one of their courses, and I remember sitting there thinking, not so sure about that. Because
did you think, what a crock of doo-doo?
Well, I did, because, and you know how outspoken I am, so I'm just going to put it out there. I just think, I mean, I've never had, the most I've ever got to a job, I've been a manager. So, yeah, semi-important, but, and I've done that several times over the years, but I'm not what I got called a career. This is probably the nearest I've got to a career as a holistic therapist. And I think, as a healer now, and what I'm giving back, I'd like to think that I reach a certainly different level of ascension because of what I'm doing now, because I've finally reached that point in my life where I'm giving something back and I'm doing what I'm here to do, and I'm serving source, or whatever we want to call them. And so when I ascend now, when I go up, it's wherever, around us, because everyone wants to go up, but actually we're everywhere. I'd like to think I'm reaching a slightly better level, not that it's a competition, because of what I'm serving and doing now in my life lessons.
I totally agree with that, because what you just said a minute ago almost shocked me. I was thinking,
and it shocked me when I heard it. But Pamela's questions make me wonder if she's heard the same thing, because it makes people feel that we are not, I mean, to me, we are light workers because we are all healing. So we are already working as light workers, not so much our psychic and medium side, but we are healing. So we are doing, and I've always said that, it's much more powerful to me to heal than ever do a reading. I think healing gives back so much more. So it's interesting if that's where Pamela's got that insight from.
I mean, nobody's wrong because it's
No.
your opinion, but nobody is wrong, because I always say if you have an opinion, it doesn't mean it's wrong. Who's to say I'm right or you're right, or
Exactly.
but at the end of the day, it's like you've just said, Jane. I think that, like I said earlier, I've been poor. I've been like seriously on the breadline there, right? And I've been I've been depressed before, I've been, ultra happy, I've been all sorts, but I've never been in such a good place as I am now, and stronger than I am now. And I think that actually there might be somebody that's climbing the ladder and they're all singing and dancing and have loads of money and power, but actually, is that power? Is it ego that's got you there? What has got you there? I think the more simple your life is, the more the fact that if you're not, I mean, obviously we all have to live and we all have to have money. We can't eat or we can't pay our bills, and we can't, because we have to do that, unless we have our own field somewhere with a caravan or a tent in the middle, whatever. But this is right. But this is like, the more you are, I would say, content with your life, content with the people around you, content with yourself and your own spirituality, content with your lot that you don't want, if that makes sense. You don't feel like this material need all the time, or I strive, my perfection is very different than maybe somebody else's perfection. I'd quite like, if I had sort of nothing to hang around here for example, is to live somewhere lovely where it's very rural and I could like run retreats. But that's not necessarily for material gain. That would be because I'd want to help people and animals. I'd want them to be free. I'd want people to come and learn and feel a freedom for themselves. And I think that not about myself, but anyone like that has got much more of a spirituality, much more life lessons, if that makes sense. Much more of a working with the source, because you're working with nature, you're working with people, you're working on bringing people to be them true, to help them be their true selves. That is far more, up there, I feel, than being the top of, I don't know, some massive company somewhere.
I agree, and that's why I was quite shocked when I sort of heard it. And I'd hate to think that people feel like that when they're starting out on this journey. Whatever, I was quite late into my 40s coming back into this, and I don't want people to think that whatever time you start, that there is some kind of still pecking order, because there's not. We're all here to serve each other and help each other. We're not here,
but spiritual growth comes when it's meant to, doesn't it? It's like anything. It's not a competition, as you say. And some people wake up, as I call it, earlier than others. Some are very naive and not into it. And because when you're busy and you're in the material world and you're on the treadmill, whatever, you haven't got time to notice signs around you. You haven't got time to understand things more, because you're just busy. And your conscious mind is not, you can't hear it, if you like. And I think that, when you get there, I got to that stage with my work when I left, that, do you know what? I had a good salary, a great salary, and a reasonable house and lovely car and everything. I had everything I wanted, but I just felt I didn't belong one day. I just remember sitting there in a conference one day and think, I don't belong here. I really don't belong here. And I just suddenly, it was like a light bulb moment. And although I'd always done my spiritual work alongside it, in the background, and read readings for friends and healings and stuff like that, I suddenly thought, I really don't belong here. So I just left. And when I did, I just thought I get so much more fulfillment by helping others, and getting great feedback from people saying you've helped them, or you've changed their lives, or you've done this. It's not you doing it, because you're just a facilitator. But the point is, you can help somebody else on their path. And by doing that, it's the fulfillment's worth much more than the money. As Polly said, you need money to pay the bills. But at the end of the day, just being you and your authentic self, it just feels so much better. You're not hiding anymore, being who you truly are.
No, absolutely.
So let's read Michelle.
So she put, I left behind 600 plus friends on Facebook and started again. Last year, I now have 62 quality like-minded friends and couldn't be happier. No drama and zero negativity. Love it.
Yeah.
I think that is an amazing comment there. So I think we should give Michelle a card. What do you think, ladies?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's a shame, actually, that more people didn't do that on Facebook, because Facebook they're not your friends, are they?
No.
I'd like to think that on the whole they are, because I'm quite choosy anyway, but it is true. This producer saying they're evil, but people will add anybody, won't they? You'll get someone that wants to add you, and you think, oh yeah, they do spiritual work, so they're obviously thinking like-minded people, and then within 5 minutes of accepting, they're asking you to like their business page, and then you think, no, they just want more followers.
Yeah, but
or to add you to their diet shakes.
Oh yeah,
page.
Yeah. But also you get that with people, they think, oh, I must be popular because I've got thousands of friends. It doesn't matter, because you probably don't know half these people. True friends, even if you have 5 friends, it doesn't matter. The point is they're people you resonate with, and people that are on the same vibration, and people that are good for you. Being around people that are good, that are kind and compassionate like you are, is all you need in life. And somebody that makes you have a laugh and, just feel good about yourself and be you. No, it's not somebody that leans on you, that needs you, that are negative, that always, because it just drags your energy down. And the idea is we keep our energy up,
it really
so we
does.
feel positive.
Yeah. Well, good for you, Neshla. So
I had a little bit of a cull.
Well, we're still on, so we must be all right.
Yeah.
You two are good.
Do you want to do her a card first, or me?
Yeah, well, 2 came out. So I've got the Princess of Cups there and the 4 of Wands, which are beautiful cards, both of these. Now, the Princess of Cups usually to me means a surprise in the post, okay? Or like sometimes it's like a something you may have like a job, for example. Say you did applied for a job, okay? It feels here that there's something here that's coming for you, and there's an invitation. Okay, now this is a surprise, or it's unexpected. Okay, so this is a really good news coming for you, Michelle. So if you have like applied for something, or maybe like shown some interest in something, this is really, really positive, showing that you're going to get a result, or there's something going to be coming in for you, which is like, grab it while you can. Go to the interview, for example. There could also be like a wedding invite coming your way as well. Or like an occasion like that coming in for you. It feels like maybe it's been stalled and it's like coming round again. So be expecting of a couple of different things there, Michelle. It's really good news coming. It's like a definite dress up for it job. Okay, so make sure you pull those clothes out and get them aired and ironed. Okay, I just thought that it's really good news coming around you, Michelle, and it's really important that you, like I said, enjoy the moment. Enjoy the moment.
Okay, well, I've got Fertility. And I've just, as I was feeling it and getting a vibe, I've just seen she said she's on her last final step into the path of healing. And as soon as I turned that, I got healing because of the green heart chakra and all the gold circle behind there. So I just felt straight away that there's been lots of shredding, not just with your friends on Facebook. I think you've been shredding a lot of things and moving a lot of things away and changing things in your life. And also you put about your ex there as well. But I also got a sensation, I keep wanting to see a keyhole. So where Polly was saying about a new opportunity or a new job, I do feel like I want to put a key into the door, and I just feel it's somewhere new. You're going somewhere new to try something new, and I feel like it's a fresh start. And fertility is all about new starts, a new birth, a sort of creation of some sort. And I just feel there's lots of positivity going on there, and lots of growing, and lots of new things that you're trying. But I just want to put this key into a door. I feel like you're going into a new place. And that doesn't necessarily mean a house. It just means you're entering somewhere new, and it's very exciting. So it does sort of sit with Polly, but the healing there is very positive. And I'm not sure if you've even considered in your spiritual journey to do healing, because I do get this very strong pull to the heart chakra. So bear that in mind, Michelle.
Fabulous.
Okay. So I bought my own pack here now. So I picked 2 cards as well. So I've got patience here. And to me, that feels like, I want you to say to step back and look after yourself a little bit, and actually just not try and rush things anymore, but slow the pace down a little bit, because I just feel that you've got a lot of things to do and a lot on the go, and I just feel I want to just slow down a bit and pull you back a bit. But the other card that fell out, and I was only going to pick one, was achievement. And to me, this is saying that, you're on your way to your goal. There is something that you're striving for. There is something you're aiming for, and you will achieve it. But again, because I've got the patience card, it's just like not running before you can walk and taking your time to get there, if that makes sense.
I think they all tie in quite nicely.
Yeah.
There's definitely something coming. I keep seeing around June the 3rd to the 5th could be very relevant in this as well. So with a little bit of everything we've said, there's definitely something coming. Probably not expecting it even. So just be in the right place at the right time. Okay, it's like really, really important. Good news is coming anyway for you, which is lovely.
Yeah, and I feel it will just suddenly take off. It's just like plod, and then suddenly it's off on. It's happening.
Fabulous.
She's thinking of doing crystal healing. So.
Oh, I love
you
crystal.
You do it, Michelle, because I do feel healing's around you, not just in what you've been doing, but actually as a practice. So,
hello, Cheryl. Actually,
hi, Cheryl.
Just coming on to the crystal healing, my friend Leslie Wilson she's a yoga teacher, and when I run retreats, she's the yoga teacher, and she does all sorts of other things as well. And Ray, we did we?
No.
Hello, Christine.
Hi, Christine.
Hello.
And she gave me a crystal healing, and it was when she was first learning, and I was a guinea pig for her. She'd already qualified, but she just wanted a few to practice on. And she did it, and honestly, I can honestly say that was a part of one of my epiphanies or a part of one of my ascensions, because it almost blew me away. And I don't think I've ever had a healing like it, but I feel like it was what I needed at that time. Does that make sense? Really important at that moment. And I felt, first of all, like high as a kite. For the next 2 days, I felt quite low, but then it did bring up a few things that I really did need to release. And then after I realised I needed to release them, it's like I went like this. And everything
ascended.
Clearer. Yeah, it was like suddenly came a clearer. And it was an amazing moment. So I think it was the right thing for me at that right moment there.
Yeah.
So Kim, I used to put myself on the back burner and worry about other people more than myself. But since the new year, I started to put myself first. Fabulous, Kim. It's important, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not selfish either.
I like to think lots of people have put themselves more forward this year and looked after themselves, because I feel that that's what this has been about. It is a form of ascension. What do you reckon, Neshla? I feel that people needed this year to look at things, adjust things, and not necessarily nudge them along, because some, like we said, won't move. But I do feel that this was a very strong year to ascend, to actually move and start to decide where your life is going, what you want, what's important.
Yeah, I agree with you, because I feel that, with everybody locked down, everybody having things taken away from them, all their social activities, all their thing, it's made people sit back and realise and reevaluate their life, because they've had to slow down. When I say when they're too busy, they don't get it, but people have had to slow down. And although it's been difficult for people that have lost loved ones and not been able to see them and that sort of thing, it has been hard on a lot of people. But essentially what it's done is made us reflect on our lives and think what is important. And the most important thing is keeping healthy and happy, because obviously there's a lot of mental health problems at the moment with people locked down, but also realizing how important friends and family are. And it doesn't matter if you're sitting there in a great big house with loads of money, because you can't do anything with it. What's important is that you can't see your sister or your mother or your friends, and that's the thing we've had to recognise, and it's sort of readjusted everyone. So last year was all about reflection. This year is all about moving forward but changing direction. So a lot of people realize, actually, I hate my job and I'm going to leave it, or actually I've been stuck in the house with my partner for ages and realize we've got nothing in common anymore, or whatever it is. But we've actually recognized that, and we've learned about, and people have, you know, looked at their spiritual books they might not have had time to do, all these sort of things to find themselves, because ultimately as a soul, the most important thing is to look at ourselves. And that's why when we're kind and compassionate empaths, like the three of us, we and a lot of the others I'm sure on the show, we tend to give, I can't remember the name of the lady that said, but we tend to give and do things for everyone else because you think, oh, that makes them happy, and you're always trying to make everybody else happy. But unfortunately, you know, you suffer yourself. So the important thing is to be happy and love yourself and respect yourself, and then you can, you know, help others, but it's not affecting your energy, if that makes sense.
No, totally. I think we're pulling a card for Kim.
Yeah.
It's really quite ironic because I was like just pulling cards as you two were speaking, and so I can't see Kim's picture. It doesn't matter. Right then. So Kim, I pulled you the Queen of Swords and the Five of Swords. All very swordy, I have to say. Right. So with the Queen of Swords, she is always, I want to say, my kick butt queen. Okay. She's the one that comes along and she says it how it is. She's astute. She's direct. She sometimes has to put her foot down on situations. And this card here is really saying, Kim, at the moment, I know you said you've moved on quite a lot and you started thinking about yourself quite a lot, but there is definitely some people around you. I want to say two particular females around you at the moment that probably are quite close to you, but seem to be a drain on your emotional state. And it's like quite either overpowering, or do you know when you feel like you have to say yes? I don't know if they've got like an older lady there that is being a bit of a drain. Like I said, it almost feels like you can't say no, okay, because either they're a relative or they're someone close. Now, this is important that you do, okay? I know you're not going to leave anyone in the lurch, but if you are exhausted or shattered or feeling it yourself, it's lovely looking after other people. But like we just said, sometimes you have to step back and just make a little bit of space there, okay? Almost like tune out of it. Or if somebody else is needing help, see if you can get somebody else to sort of fill in every other day or something there. Because honestly, this is just saying that you're doing the right things, you're getting where you need to go. And you also need a little bit of fun, okay? Because we've got the Prince of Wands there that came out as well. Seems to be like two cards today. That you just need to be a little bit more spontaneous. And at the moment, I don't feel like you can be. I know we all can't be right now, but sometimes you have to be a bit spontaneous and just think, do you know what? I just want to do this today, or I want everyone to bugger off today, or I'm going to go for a nice walk in the park today. It doesn't have to involve anyone else. So just keep strong. Definitely don't let people lord over you. And if you're struggling with someone, see if they can somebody else can get in there and help in that situation. I hope this is all making sense, Kim.
Just put yes. Right. So
okay.
I'm swapping today, people. I'm using Wisdom of the Oracle now, and I got Chaos and Conflict. And I went off screen then. Sorry, Mr. Producer. And straight away I got a Leo. I can see a Leo sign in the clouds, and I've got someone that's got a Leo sort of astrology sign. And I've also felt funny that Polly said two women. With the 33, I was getting two women, but I felt like they were twins or people that are very similar. You know, sometimes your best mates can be almost like your twin sister you never had. And I'm also getting a bit of a weird one. I keep seeing a wall. I feel like a wall's broken, or someone's broken a wall, hit a wall. That could be literally, or it could just be like Polly was saying, the metaphor. I can never say my words on here, but it's a meaning more that you've hit a wall and you're not moving on. Because the Chaos and Conflict still shows me that although you've been changing and you've put the new year, so I'm assuming from this year, it's small steps at the moment, because there's still a lot of things going on that you need to break free from. And it's funny because you look at that was a zebra and it's turned into a tiger? Leopard? Which one's leopard, isn't it?
I can't see it.
Yeah, it's like, anyway, I feel that's you at the moment. You're trying to break out of the old self, but you're still getting pulled back. So whoever these people are around you, be mindful of that, and just learn to say no a bit more. Oh, that's what I want to say. And whoever the Leo sign is, just you need to draw on that strength, that Leo lion strength. So I hope that helps Kim as well.
Yeah, I picked something very similar. I've got juggling here. And this to me means that you've still got a lot on your plate, and there are things you need to put down and not carry on with. And I just feel that, you know, you take too much on yourself, and part of it it's you know, not learning to say no, really, because I just feel that at the moment you always like to help people, you like to do things for everybody else, but it's about recognizing what's yours and what is other people's stuff, and giving other people responsibility to do their own stuff. And I also feel that, although like I was picking chaos as well, funny enough, and I was feeling that everything was like chaos, but now things are going a little bit calmer and steadier, and I'm seeing you actually floating off quite in a much more serene, steadier pace than you've done for a long time. So it's just being aware of what you need to literally take off your plate, if you like, or delegate or give other people responsibilities, but actually start thinking of yourself. And if you find it hard to say no, just say, I can't do it at this moment, or not at this time, and then always get the message and eventually find somebody else to do stuff for them. So it's just about trying to, you know, keep your own energies balanced, rather than trying to keep everybody else up and going as well.
Absolutely. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
So
exactly.
Kim says thank you. So I hope that helps you, Kim. And like you said, small steps. It is small steps. No one can change overnight. It is small steps. Don't go backwards. Keep stepping forward.
Hi, Priscilla.
Hi, Priscilla.
Hello.
Julie, your job, money, where you live, is etc. is what you do not.
It's not who you are. Yeah, and that's true, isn't it? Because it's just a title, isn't it? It doesn't matter if you're a I mean, these days, I mean, I think it's not a secretary anymore, isn't it? A professional administrative assistant or something, you know, yes, and you can't say that anymore and all this sort of stuff. But, you know, a job title doesn't define you. And some people can wiggle their way to a decent job title, but it doesn't matter. It's you as a person. As long as you've got a good heart, you're kind, compassionate, you look after yourself and respect others and are kind as you can be, then that's the most important thing. And it doesn't matter if you're the Prime Minister or a wheelie bin man. It doesn't matter as long as you're a good person. So it definitely doesn't show who you are.
I suppose, though, I was going to say, money and where you live, maybe not, but it is where your job, in our case, of course it does. Well, our job.
yeah, but it's being true to yourself and being there. Yeah. But it doesn't matter about a title, does it? I mean, there's three of us. We all work in similar field, don't we? But we're all different. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter. We can, you know, it's really hard to say who you are. I mean, I know that I found when I was doing my website, it's like, who am I? You know, I do healing, I do teaching, I do readings. My passion is tarot, my passion is healing. What do I do? So I just called my website my name because that's who I am. But, you know, we all come to the same conclusion to do the same thing. We just do it in a different way. So it's not about a title, it's about who you are. And like anything, the right people come to you. You know, there's three readers here, but the right person will come to each person because their vibration suits that person. You go to a fair, can't you? One of these psychic pet fairs, and I know that, you know, you two have done it as well. You know, you sit there and there might be 20 readers, but you never worry about it because the right person will come to you. It's just like a magnet. It's just like your energy just draws them to you. So it is about being your authentic self, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And then, like you said, that everyone's different. Everyone has their favourites. I mean, some people will come to me and continue to be with me, and then they'll go off to somebody else as they come back to me. And I always say, you know, and if I couldn't do a reading, I'd be like, you know, saying about one of you guys, saying, you know, I'm really sorry I can't do it for about a month now because I'm booked up, but I know, you know, I've got some other reader friends, would you like me to pass their names on? And they always say yes, so I always do. And that's how it should be, isn't it? I know that you guys have done the same for me, and that's what true, I would say, spirituality is, when you know that you can share, it's not a competition. People will come to me for something, or you for something, or it might be that they prefer one of you the way you read the cards, or spiritual guidance, or mediumship. And I have no idea what that was, but it just sounded like my shed was falling down. 2 seconds.
That doesn't sound good.
Right, come in. Come on.
I'm taking it she's talking to the cat.
Yeah, no, it's the dog.
She's not talking to spirit people. She's talking to an animal.
It's a dove from a bath.
Come in, everybody. Your Mr. Producer's very quiet today. Do you think he's sitting...
Oops, I just spilled water down my place.
Where are you, Mr. Producer? You've normally got witty things to say, and he's all quiet. I feel like
I think he can't get. I don't think he can get a word in edgewise. I'm going to be honest.
Yep. You've got another question there.
Right then, Kelly.
Do you want?
Okay. It's annoying when someone says, "Pleased to meet you. What do you do? Where do you work?" Because obviously that defines me. Yeah, but then is that in a work environment? Because I think I worked for a local university, so obviously a very large organisation with lots of staff. And if you went to conferences or different meetings and other organisations were there, it is the first thing they say, because it's that conditioning of your organisation. Oh, nice to meet you. Which department do you work in, or which organisation do you work in? It's not so much to define you, it's because it's your common interest, isn't it? It's your opening statement. I'd hate to think I met anyone in this sort of work, or even out on the street. Nice to meet you. Where do you work and where? Because that's not the sort of people I meet in the street anyway.
What's your name and where do you come from?
Normally I attract quite strange people in the street anyway, let's be fair. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, to me, that's a more sort of a professional opening line, isn't it? I don't know. I mean, Neshla,
I think it depends. It depends in what platform you're in, I guess, or what.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're in a place where somebody might ask you, for example, or maybe they're just genuinely interested in what you do. It could be that. I love people asking me, because I just say, I see dead people.
Yeah, no, scare them. Yeah, I mean, I can see where you're both coming from. Yeah, because I was going to say, like Jane says, if in my professional work, well, I am professional, but what I mean is that in my old life, in my previous life, but in the corporate world, I mean, it's natural to be in a meeting and say, my name's Neshla, I'm in this department or whatever. But when you go, but some people are actually out for their own gain as well. So you do meet people, and you're at a party, and when they think, I'm not interested in her because she's not doing this. Some people do only want to mix with people where they think they can better themselves or be in this circle. But they're people that are not really on the spiritual ladder, because we recognise that we get attracted to people, and it doesn't matter what they do. If we like them, then that's who they are. But and if people say that to me or whatever, and I was getting upset about it, I just say, well, why does it matter? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. But like Polly said, it's that when you tell people, they get scared.
So Kelly's put, when you're out trying to have fun, it's annoying. Well, Kelly, here's a little tip, because when I first started going, sort of doing this work, my friends thought it was comical, because only 2 of them really believed in what I did anyway. And when we would be out drinking, and I'd be just trying to be me, as normal as I can be, they would go to men, oh, yeah, she's a witch. So then people would go, you're a witch. And I'd turn around and go, yeah. And like Polly, I'd talk to dead people. I'd go, by the way, your wife knows you're out, and I suggest you put your wedding ring back on your finger and things like that. So it used to shut them down dead.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think the worst thing is if you're out somewhere and you're at a party, like Neshla said, if it's not so much business orientated, and you say, oh, what do you do? Oh, well, I'm actually a psychic medium. And everyone's there in some sort of corporate, and you've come as your +1. Oh, I'm a medium. But you will also find those behind the scenes will be twitching, desperate to ask you for advice, but too scared to open it. They want it. So there's 2 sides to that. There is 2 sides to that.
Or
you get the other way.
Sorry, go on. I was just going to... I'm going to look. This is so psychic.
Yeah. I was going going to say, it's the other way as well, is when you say, you tell them what you do, and they go, oh, what are you picking up about me? And they want a free reading or something. And you think, no, I'm out. I just want to get on with my life. I don't want to do this. You know, so many people do that sort of thing, don't they? Or they test you.
Yeah. She's put laugh out loud. Yes, Jane. And do you know what I do, Kelly, now? Because I even get it in I went to do a woman once, holistic practice. I went to do her ears. I do ear hopping. I went in my therapy uniform, so clearly I wasn't doing psychic work. And when I got there, she had the entire family watching me do her ears, whatever floats your boat. And then at the end of it, they went, I hear you're a psychic. And I went, yes, I am. And they went, well, then do something to prove it, because we don't believe in it. And I turned around and said, Kelly, oh, I'm ever so sorry, but today I'm a therapist, so I'm not working in my psychic mode, because that's not what they paid me for. So sometimes you've got to learn to rise above it and adjust to it. It is all part of your growing, your ascending in this work. I mean, I always go to Neshla for advice when I used to struggle, and she would tell you that sometimes you've got, the whole point of this is keep growing, and you just need that person to buff it off. You get stronger and stronger with it. So
if you want to, I tend to, it depends who asks me, you know, if I'm down the park, which I've actually had clients from just going down the park, and they say, what do you do? And I'm like, actually, and I'm just like, you know, this is what I do. And then they're interested and they might book a reading or a healing or whatever that is. But if I sort of don't want to be bothered, if that makes sense, like if you're going to a pub, I can't remember those days, but there's that pub thing, you know. And you know that some people are going to know that what you do, and they go, you're the psychic, aren't you? What do you see around me? And think, no, I'm not doing that today. I'm out, like Neshla said. But if you want just a nice quick fix, it's to say I'm a holistic therapist or something like that. Because if you are a healer and a reader, and you know you're working in a holistic field, if you don't want to go much more into it and you want them to leave you alone, just say that. You know, it's easy. But, you know, you do get people, like Neshla said, where they know what you do, or somebody's told them what you do. And there's the psychic or the medium over there. And then they come over and you think, I would never go up to somebody, ask a hairdresser who's out, you know, on the town, and ask them a fringe cut. Or
what colour do you think I should be? Or a retail person and go, do you think this suits me, this outfit? You just wouldn't do it, would you?
No.
You just
The hardest bit is I think with spiritual work as well, because a lot of people are skeptical. They want proof, but you don't ask, you know, if someone's a dentist, you don't say, oh, go on, prove it.
Give me a filling.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know, do you? And it's really frustrating when people want you to prove your vote. And I just say, if you want me to prove it, book a reading, you know, and then that's you're not working, because otherwise, you know, why should you have to prove yourself? Nobody else has to prove what they do.
No,
do you know what? I've just seen Kelly said she actually gets clients from taking her grandkids to school. Well, I can go one better than that, Kelly. My grandson plugs me at school, tells everyone his nan's a psychic. I mean, how times have changed. But honest to know, and I mean, I don't always watch soaps, but sometimes you just sit and the telly's on. I've noticed that Coronation Street and EastEnders have both set storylines with mediums in them. It's funny how they all run the same sort of storyline, and it's all great, but it really is quite derogative to the profession. And I do think it's a profession. It's not entertainment, as people still say it is. And it is quite insulting watching it, how they still mock what we do. And both of them are running that storyline as a mock. And that's quite... And my son went, hey, Mum, that's why you don't tell people what you do, because they laugh at you. And I went, it's insulting, actually. It's insulting to the clients that believe and trust us. And it's insulting to us because we do work with integrity. So it's still that mockery is out there.
Yeah.
So it's not just out in the playground, Kelly. It's even, unfortunately, on telly.
Yeah, Kelly said, I've had them saying, give us a massage, love. I don't do massage.
Well, send them to me, Kelly, because I do aromatherapy massage.
She'll give them a good beating.
You don't want.
Yeah, you'll sort them out, won't you, Jane?
I'll sort them out. They don't get anywhere with me. Yeah, but it is what it is. But should we give Kelly a card?
Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to change my cards now. I'm going to use the angel cards. Let's see. Hello, Rachel.
Hi, Rachel.
Hello.
I thought she was the palmist.
Ah.
Very interesting as well. Don't see a lot of people doing that.
I can't go first today because I have I've fallen out with those cards and I'm not making any sense.
Right.
I'm just
I'll
going
go
to
first,
go
Kelly.
to my other one.
So I've got here and now. And actually, I didn't look at it long enough because I was waiting on Polly. And well, actually, it says it all because you've got past and future there. And I think this is again goes back to ascension. How we sit in that middle ground. Our past is our past in whatever we do, spiritual or not, and we should all learn to leave it behind us. And our future, we shouldn't rush. I always tell this to my clients, we shouldn't rush and want to know what our future is going to be. Yes, a little bit of immediate future, but why do we want to know what's going to happen next year, 5 years, 10? Why do we want to know that? Why can't we enjoy the moment and feel, that enjoyment when it happens? And I just think that here and now is showing that you need to be more, not worry about what people think and what people ask what you do. Own it with, like a charity badge. I want to say, put a badge on and go, this is what I do. Why, don't care that they're asking you. Because I know I used to hide away, and I'd always put holistic therapist, not to sort of say, I'm a holistic therapist because it shut them up. I did it to hide behind the psychic side. I used my holistic therapy badge to not call myself a psychic, and that took me a while to come out and actually go, I'm a psychic and a holistic therapist. And I just feel the here and now for you, it's almost like when I look at that egg, I want to break you out of it and say, own it, be proud of it, and what you can do and your knowledge of what you can do is actually what you should be pleased with and not care about what anyone else thinks. I also feel I've got a little girl around you, and I can't sort of draw her away with I've got like wings, and I've got a little girl. It's all quite girly. I'm seeing quite a girly sort of background, so I'm not sure if that resonates with you for any reason. But I'm just getting this like doll's playhouse, but it feels very fairy tale. It reminds me of a fairy tale. It doesn't feel sort of. I don't know why I'm getting that. I'm getting this weird doll's house going on, but I want to say to you, own it, live in the here and now, and don't care. And when you get past that, you'll be like me, wearing a chuffy badge, going #1 psychic medium before anyone asks. Okay? So much love to you, Kelly. Totally agree, Jane, and that's where I am now. Yeah, so live in the here and now. We should all be living in the here and now. We shouldn't be living in the past, and we shouldn't be worried about our future. It's not healthy, one way or the other. They're not good places to be. Makes your mind overthink, doesn't it, Neshla? She agree. Yeah, that was me. Always
exactly. And don't you feel happier in yourself now you've shed that?
Do you know what? Nothing bothers me now, even when stuff's going on.
Exactly.
Even when I just think, oh well, that gets sorted out. But kids think I need to be in a mental asylum. They actually say that because they can't understand why I'm so relaxed about things. But things always work out, and plans will change for whatever reason.
Just trust the universe.
It goes with the flow.
Yes,
exactly.
Okay, all right, then I'll leave that with you. And then, Polly, you got one, or are you still throwing them around?
Are you ready, Neshla?
Yeah, I can do it if you like. Yeah. Funny enough, I've got a similar one to Jane. I've got walk away. And if you look, this person's going forward and leaving the past behind. There's people in the past she wants to leave behind. So this is like almost, I'm just getting, when you get a snake that sheds its skin, it's just like I'm seeing this skin just being left on the path, and you're looking back and just think, I don't need that anymore. That's the old me. And the new me is this new shiny snake, if you like, just moving forward. And I just thought well, you know what I mean. Maybe that's not a way to say it, but I saw it as a visual as a snake, so I'm going to share that. But funny enough, I got a bottle of Prosecco as well, so I feel there's some celebration coming up, or something to celebrate. But I definitely feel you changing, and that's why I got the snake thing, because it's changing, isn't it? It's shedding the old, going into the new. Just heading forwards and not looking backwards. Never look backwards with regrets, because you learn from the past, but actually going forward and celebrating the new you. Maybe that's what the Prosecco's about. But I just feel like celebrating the new you and just not turning your head backwards and just heading into the sunset, if you like.
Oh, well, that's very good. Well, I've got something very different, okay? So I've got the 7 of Wands and the Hermit. Do you know what? I like the Hermit. I do like the Hermit.
I like the Hermit.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. Right, I do feel at the moment, Kelly, you might be having a little bit of a moment where you've been going on really nicely, if that makes sense, and you've been doing your stuff, doing your spiritual stuff, and you've got your sort of, you know, family and everything. And do you know when you sometimes hit a spot where you think, okay, I really like what I'm doing, but I feel like there's something else, okay? Because I really feel like with you at the moment, Kelly, there's a sort of like, there's been like this pause button, if you like, and you're thinking, okay, it's almost like you're sort of yearning to sort of go a bit further with something, or yearning to learn something new. And it's really interesting, Neshla, that you said about a snake, because I kept seeing, like, do you know, like the shamanic work and things? It's quite funny because I've just started on a shamanic journey, and well, a couple of months ago now, and there's a feeling here that there's either something like that is very old, it's about your ancestors, you know, there's it could even be like, you know, like druids, for example. There's just a feeling of sort of going right back, but coming forward with it, if that makes sense. It's connection to your ancestors, real connection to guides coming in here. But I want to say you might be feeling a little bit wobbly about it, like you haven't had the headspace to sit in the power, or you haven't had the headspace to sit for like a deep meditation or something. But this is coming, and I do feel like you're going through a real shift at the moment, Kelly, that is a little bit peculiar. One minute you feel like really quite elated, and the next minute you feel a little bit anxious or a little bit all over the shop. But this is just saying, go with it, Kelly. When you feel that pull, I've always done healing and cards moving on to mediumship now. Fantastic. I do feel with you, Kelly, though, that there's going to be a real deep connection with like guides or ancestors coming in, and really don't be surprised when this really hits you in a good way. Like I said, you might go through a bit of a wobbly old patch there, and you might doubt it as well. You might end up doubting yourself a little bit. That's nothing new. We've all doubted ourselves, haven't we, ladies? But just go with it, okay? Work on your confidence. Know that, you know, practice makes perfect, and you'll never be perfect because nobody's perfect. Just keep going at it, but you will get this real deep connection. So stop it. You'll get this deep connection. Sorry, I haven't got some mad Tourette's or something there going on. But yeah, just go with it, and everything will work out just fine, Kelly. Just give yourself time.
She said that made sense, and that shift for sure is probably so
Fabulous.
Yeah. So
Excellent.
So, Pamela, if I could set my skin, it would. Pamela, we all feel like that. Okay.
So, coming up on SPTV this week, what have we got going on, Mr. P? So tonight we have our fledgling VIP night. So that is at 8 o'clock. So tune in for that. And that's on Zoom. Tomorrow evening, Kirsty and Matt Grogan, live mediumship and oracle card readings. My words are not happening today. From 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Matt and Kirsty, you're amazing, absolutely amazing. So please tune in for that tomorrow at 8. A new show starting Tuesdays. I can't see half of that. Spiritual touch with Wendy Lindsay, your personal pendulum healing energy therapist. That is 2 p.m. Zoom on Tuesday.
So can I just ask, that's on Zoom, is that not on YouTube then? Oh, so it's on the SPTV. Yeah, I know, but I'm not very techie, guys, sorry. Right, okay. Yeah, I did see it come up. On my page, so I did wonder if it was, yeah.
Oh, psychic picnic with Jackie Robinson, and that is 1 p.m. on What day?
Thursday.
On Thursday. Sorry, I can only see part of that there.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, ladies, I think we're coming to the end shortly. So, how have you all felt about the ascension subject then? Do you think we've learned anything new between our conversations today?
Are you asking us, or are you asking
Yeah.
the panel?
Are you asking?
Wow.
Well,
I've learned everything I know from Neshla because I did the courses with her. Yeah. I mean, I think you're still learning with Ascension anyway. I think you're always
Every day.
And there is so much more to the courses if anyone is interested, because you learn about your ascended masters, your planets. It's very quirky, isn't it?
Yeah, I started at the beginning. Yeah, I'm running another one on the 13th of March, starting level 1 again, if anyone's interested. But it's a day's course. But as you say, we're all learning as we go along. Things change as you go along. But there's just, the thing is, don't think of it as a lesson, but actually just accept things and grow. And that's part of your journey anyway.
So how do they get hold of you for this, if they're interested, Neshla?
If they're interested, if they go to my website, neshlaav.com, my Ascension courses are up there, and they can find a little bit about what I cover and what it's all about. So, yeah, that's probably the best way.
That's excellent. And just read that from Howell. There we go. Polly, thanks for all the good thoughts. We are moving along well with that house. They are moving. Howell lives in America, and he is moving into this incredible looking house. It's absolutely looks amazing. And
Wow.
so Howell's a regular on SPTV. He absolutely loves the channel, which is good. Shooting. Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
And Michelle, thank you yet again for a wonderful Sunday sofa session. And you are so welcome, Michelle.
I'm guessing we didn't have too many people have been out watching in that sunshine, but I don't blame them.
No, nor do I.
You're welcome,
Even
Sally.
in the hot tub.
Yeah.
If he's finished pumping the lid up.
No, I think he finished pumping just before we came on. There was a very strange noise from outside, and it was my other half pumping up the new inflatable lazy spa lid because the other one had popped.
They were wondering what you were going to say then, Polly. The new inflatable.
And then we'll have I'm sure we'll get a flamingo out there as well. Make it look a bit tropical. So we'll be back in 2 weeks' time. Hopefully Leah will be back with us. Thank you so much, Neshla, for coming on today. Absolutely lovely to have your input and your company. And please, one day, join us again.
Thank you. It's been great. And I will.
Thanks, Neshla.
Yeah. Nice
Thank you, everybody. And thank you for all your comments. And we will say goodbye, because that's what we're going to do now.
So enjoy the party. I'll have to be virtual though, ladies. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'll get my own hot. I still can't climb over mine, so I'm not getting there anytime soon. Anyway,
we'll just come over and lock you in.
Yeah. All right then.
So see you in 2 weeks' time.
Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.